We've had a series of videos on the seventh chords, and there was many of them, so I thought I'd take one video to just cover all those, just to review all those seventh chords, because I know it can be kind of confusing. So the basic kind of seventh chord is called the dominant seventh, where we use not the seventh degree of the scale, but the lowered seventh. So this is C seventh. But there's another kind of seventh called a major seventh, and that uses the seventh note of the major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's called a major, or MAJ seventh, whereas this is just a C seventh. Technically known as a dominant seventh, but in chord symbols it's just C seventh. And the same thing would be true of F seventh, or G seventh, or D seventh, or E seventh, or whatever chord we're talking about. But just to make it simple, let's stay on C. Okay. So the basic two kinds of chords are a seventh and a major seventh. However, we could have a minor seventh, couldn't we? In other words, a minor chord with a seventh, right? Or we could have a minor chord with a major seventh, and the symbol for that would be C minor MAJ 7, okay? Or plus 7, okay? Whereas that's a C minor seventh chord, just CM 7th, because this is the assumed seventh, isn't it? Like it is in the major chord, major version. So that would be C minor 7th, and that would be C minor major 7th. And then there's a thing called a half diminished seventh, which you form a diminished triad by lowering the third and the fifth half step, and you also have the lowered seventh. Okay, so that's a half diminished seventh. Now, a full diminished seventh is where you double flat the seventh note of the scale. Looks like the sixth, but you have to write it as the double flatted seventh. Okay, so that's a C diminished seventh. Now we could have a C augmented seventh, couldn't we? In other words, a C augmented chord with a seventh. We could even have a C augmented with a major seventh, although you don't hear that chord used hardly at all. Or we could have a C seventh chord with a flatted seventh. I mean a flatted fifth, right? This is C seventh minus 5, whereas this would be C seventh plus 5, augmented, the symbol for plus, minus the symbol for flatted seventh, or flatted fifth, I'm sorry. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Let's just do it once more. C 7th, C major 7th, C minor 7th, C minor with a major 7th, half diminished 7th, diminished 7th, augmented 7th, and 7th with a flat 5th. Okay? And that pretty well sums up seventh chords. There's a lot of different ones, but you need to know them well before we get on to ninths and 11ths and 13ths and all the alterations therein. You can see it can get real complex. Okay, so that's it for today, so we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.